day going?
Good. Yeah, real good, man. It's been nice. Weather was nice today. I'm sure by you guys too.
Yeah, so for us in Georgia, it's like right now it's really cold in the morning
Yeah,
and then it gradually warms up.
sure. Yeah,
Uh,
same here.
Same here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Where you living these days now?
I'm in New Jersey still, about an hour outside New York City. Yeah,
Well, cool, man. I was just thinking about you were on Good Company, what, about a few years ago, right? You were
I
at
think
the
it was like
house,
three
which,
years ago, right? Three.
yeah, dude. And I'll never forget you. Like I had the corn follow leader guitar.
Yeah, remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you
That-
were jamming on that, man. That was so cool.
Yeah, that was fun, man. That was a great weekend.
Yeah, dude. I've never had somebody at the house play guitar like you all the time. It's like from the moment you got here, man, you're just like noodling around, just
Yeah,
that was
once I get a guitar in my hand, I can't stop. It's just it's a sick addiction I have.
yeah. So you play every single day?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Every day, man. I always make a point to pick the guitar up every day.
So last time I saw you, you didn't have you got a new partner, right? You got a new woman now.
Yeah, yeah, she's been great. Her name's Little C,
Little
and
C?
does all my videos, all types of work for my solo stuff and my death metal band Revenge Beast. So it's been great.
Yeah, so you've had Revenge Beast for a while now, right? That's
Yeah,
been
we started it during the pandemic, and I've been doing it now for a good 4 or 5 years now.
yeah, so you guys just tour do you just tour the states or do you go overseas at all?
Just the states right now. We've just been doing like a week run here, week run there, weekends. But we're looking to go overseas eventually.
Yeah, man, you got a few projects, right? Do you still do the band Hail the Horns?
Nah, nah, we took a break from that. We all got busy doing our own thing. Tony's been super busy doing Static X and Fear Factory, so we took some time off from that.
Man, how cool would that be if you got to go on tour with them with Hail the
Yeah, I would
Horns?
love to, man. I haven't toured with Fear Factory in forever, and I never toured with Static X, so that'd be great.
Yeah, dude. Revenge Beast. So how did that start, man? What year did that start? You said that
Uh,
started around the pandemic?
yeah, we started it. I think 2020. I just started sending ideas to the guys back and forth, and we actually recorded the record during the pandemic from home. We all did our parts at home, so it was a COVID record. Like a lot of people made during that time.
Is it easy for you to collaborate with other people? Because I know you do your own thing, your own solo, where you're just kind of your own boss. Is
Yeah.
it? Do you like collaborating with other people? I mean, do you have? I mean, surely you don't have other people telling you what to play. I mean, you probably come up with the ideas, right?
Well, Revenge Beast, the first record, I wrote a lot of it, but the guys definitely had some input too. And we're getting ready to do a second record, and we're all going to have input. I want everybody to be part of this. I think being that I have my solo project, um, where I write all the music by myself, when I am in a band, I like to collaborate because I have my solo project to do everything by myself and have everything sound exactly how I want it, and then I have all my other side projects for collaboration.
How do you keep up with all your projects? Do you have like a I'm just thinking like do you use your phone or how do you I've asked this question to other people before too. Like, do you have a calendar? I guess you have a little C, whatever. Like, probably tells you,
Oh
where
yeah, she's a huge help with that. Yeah, with
it just seems like so
scheduling.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 huge help. But yeah, I try to write things down. That helps me a lot to just have like a calendar and write down all the different projects, the different schedules, and trying to coordinate the shows. That's the hardest part is try to
Right.
get all the bands to be on one schedule to book shows. That's always a big struggle. But nowadays I'm really focusing on my solo project because it makes touring very affordable, being that I just go out by myself and do these shows. So I have to really kind of focus on that nowadays for live stuff.
Yeah, this new solo, so it's called Mark Rizzo Band or Mark Rizzo. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah, different. There's different names for it, but when on the records it just says Mark Rizzo. But when I perform live and if I bring a band, Mark Rizzo Band. I've even did shows overseas where I had some guys I played with, and we called it Mark Rizzo and the Corruptors. But when I just play by myself, like how I do it now, where it's with a backing track and I have drum and bass on a backing track, and I just shred on top of it. That's just my name.
Yeah. Yeah, so you keep everything on the laptop. Is it do you ever have you ever had well, I don't want to ask if you ever had problems with it, but does everything runs pretty smoothly though? I mean, you
So
just
far, knock on wood, man. So far, so good, because that would really suck. Then I'd have to do a cappella guitar solo for a half hour,
Yeah.
which
Yes.
I could do, but it wouldn't be as much fun, I don't think.
Dude, I saw your video for Thrash, what's it called?
Thrash Boogie.
Thrash Boogie. Yes, that was super
Yeah.
cool, man.
Thank you, man. That actually was done by my girlfriend, Little C. She does all my video work.
Oh,
She's an insanely talented videographer, photographer, and we do other bands that on when I'm home. We do videos for other bands. She does all the work, and I just kind of link up the bands and put the thing together. And so she did Thrash Boogie. She did my other one, Downside Up. She's done all the Revenge Beast videos. So we have a whole YouTube channel dedicated to all that stuff.
oh, that's great. I'll definitely have to check that out. So can
Yeah.
bands like do bands just send you like requests or whatever, and you guys can film a video for them or
Sure,
whatever?
requests or I even go up to bands and at my shows if there's bands on the bill I introduce myself and offer to do their videos. So and friends of mine, a lot of friends, I just offer to do videos and we've been on a roll. We've done a lot of videos in the last couple of years.
Yeah, man, that's great that she can edit and do all that. That's been a learning curve for me for sure.
Yeah, she's incredible.
When I was watching that video though, your band looks really tight. I mean, how did you find these guys?
Yeah, so the drummer is my good buddy Anthony DeVizio, who's played basically on like my last two solo records. So I've been playing with him since like 2008. He's also in a band called 40 Below Summer. You
Oh
probably
yeah,
remember those
remember them.
guys, right?
Yep. Yep.
So they're from here in Jersey. I love those guys, man. So Anthony's been with me for a long time. Incredible drummer, one of the best drummers that I've played with. And
Wow.
then the bass player is actually my brother-in-law, Elo Hernandez. So that's basically like my band here in Jersey. That's always been the core band is those guys. But they can't really tour. They all got good jobs and stuff,
Mm.
and they can't really commit to leaving. So that's when I go out and I just do these gigs by myself. And if I'm playing around the New York, New Jersey area, then I bring the guys out to jam.
How do you program all your drums and bass? Do you do that, or do you have somebody that does it for you when you're
So
playing
the
these
drums
solo?
they're real. That's my buddy Anthony.
Oh yeah, okay,
He
I
does
see.
all the drums on my records, and it's
Oh,
basically
I
the
see. You just save
drums
it.
from
Yeah.
the record, and I just drop out the guitars in the mix, and I'm just playing to bass, guitar, and drums. So it's like a live show, same kind of idea.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I told you this in our first interview, man. That takes a lot of I mean, just the anxiety or whatever. You don't have that. I mean, you come up confident playing by yourself. You have no backing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'm used to it now. I've been doing it for a long time, and some of my favorite guitar players have done it. Like Michelangelo Badio used to go out and play with a backing track. Buckethead.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I got the idea. I was like, if these guys can do it, then why can't I?
Yeah, and so you were in El Nino. You returned back for what? How long? A couple of years, or was that?
So I came back about 2 years ago. But it was never really like I'm back full time. It was always, like I'm gonna do it. We're gonna make a record. A lot of the reason I came back was I was a huge fan of Marcos Leal because we toured together. Became really good friends when I toured with him when he was in Shattered Sun and I was in Soulfly. So the idea was great. So I did it for about 2 years, and then I had to step away to just focus on my solo stuff. Me doing my solo stuff, it really needs more attention. I really need to be in charge of my own scheduling, my business. I have a very, very strong vision of the way I want to do my business and the way that I want to travel and everything. So I'm really just putting all my attention on my solo project right now. It just it treats me better too, in the end.
Yeah, that makes sense. Did you
Yeah.
say you guys recorded an album though? I know you did a couple of songs, right?
Yeah, we did. We got a record. I don't know what's going on with it. It was recorded basically like 2 years ago. I thought it was finished, but I don't know where they're at with it at this point. But I did have a lot of solos on it and ideas, acoustic stuff. So I don't know when it's going to come out. I have no idea.
Yeah, man. So you weren't there when because Tommy was in the band, or Tommy's in the band for a minute, or he's touring.
Yeah,
You weren't
well,
in. Yeah.
Tommy's in the band now, actually, and Tommy's my good buddy. I played with him with his solo project all last year. We had done a project called Bleed the Fifth, and yeah, he's singing for El Nino right now. I don't know if it's going to be permanent. I don't know if he's going to record with them. I really don't know, but he sounds great. I'd love to see what they do with him. Tommy's awesome.
I don't want to keep talking about El Nino, but I just have one or two more questions. Do you
Sure.
still keep in touch with Aru and Christian? Like they're buddies of mine. I don't know if you talk to them or
Nah, it's been forever, man.
been
Probably
forever.
20 years, maybe even longer. You know.
Yeah, no.
I dig Lines at the Gate though, man. I've heard it. I think it's great stuff, man. It looks like they're doing great doing that project. So more power to them, you know.
Oh yes, absolutely. That's awesome. When you guys played Revolution from start to finish, that was I didn't see that live, but I saw a bunch of videos. Do you like playing all those old songs and back to back and
I,
everything?
yeah, it was cool. You know, I mean, honestly, it's funny. I'm not, you know, as the years have gone by, you know, I never really was a big new metal fan, but it was fun to play those songs. You know, it definitely was. It was a trip down memory lane, and I think what I really liked about it, and what really made me want to do it too, is the fans. You know, it was great to reconnect with all those old school El Nino fans that saw it back in the day, and get out there and play. And you know, the new guys asked me to wear the book bag, and you know, it was
Yeah.
just cool to see that excitement with the fans. And I'm really glad that I reconnected with all those guys, and I see those guys now coming to my solo gigs. So you know, it definitely was worth my time.
Yeah, dude. I remember that the book bag when you were at my house, we gave you a good company. We're like, you gotta wear that
Yeah,
on
that's right.
stage, man. I heard an interview one time you did where you said, well, somebody asked you what was in the bag, and you're like, it's a bag within a bag within a bag kind of thing. Was that real?
You know, it's so funny how the book bag thing became such a myth and so talked about because it really was never that big of a deal for me, you know. So you know, all the different rumors. You know, some people said I had weights in it, which is funny because I do actually nowadays. I like to do what's called rucking. You know, I love working out and doing different training, and I live up in the mountains where I live, so I go on what's called rucking walks where I walk around with a book bag with 50 pounds on it and you know walk up hills and go out
Wow.
go for like a nice hour long walk. So I actually
Does
do put weights in it nowadays.
does that hurt your back after a while? Seems like that
You
would.
get used to it. It really builds up. It's great for cardio, for strength, your back. You know, it's a great way to work out.
So do you do something like physical like that every single day, or do you just do it, 4 or 5 times a week?
Yeah, I work out every day, man. You
Do
know,
you?
every
How long
day
do you
I'm
work
just
out for?
addicted to all different sports, all different styles of working out. You know, including the rucking.
When you were growing up, were you into sports? Did you play any
Yeah.
football or anything
Oh,
like that?
football, baseball, and then you know by the time I was late teens, I got into boxing, fought in Golden Gloves. You know, just everything. I loved it.
When did you start playing guitar? I mean, were you doing that and playing guitar at the same time?
No, the music I got into first. Probably I was like 8 years old when I started playing guitar, and that was always my passion. You know, and then the sports came. You know, when I got a little bit older, maybe around 10, 11, something like that, 12.
Yeah. Didn't you say don't you have like an older brother that got you into music, or do you just
Yeah,
discover it yeah.
yeah, I was you know lucky to have an older brother who about 7 years older than me, and you know was in high school during the whole thrash metal explosion of like the early '80s. You know, so that really is what got me into metal and got me into playing guitar was him bringing home cassettes and vinyl of you know Metallica and Slayer,
Yeah.
Exodus, and you know all the classic stuff, man. And that music still to this day is just like my favorite style of music.
Did you ever go see the Big Four when Metallica did the Slayer and Anthrax and all that?
No, I
Megadeth?
wanted to go so bad. I was in Europe, I think, that whole summer when they were doing that in the States. But I got to see Megadeth by themselves that year, you know, later in the year, and Slayer and Metallica. So I did get to see them during that era, but just not all four of them.
Do you think they should have added Exodus to it to make it
Oh
like the
yeah,
Big
and
Five or something?
Testament. I think they should do
Yeah.
another like Big Ten. You know, have the Big Four be
Yeah.
the main stage, make it like a festival type environment, do the big four on the main stage, and then have six other of the small, not I don't want to say smaller, but the other thrash metal bands that I love, that everyone loves. Testament, Exodus, Overkill's got to be on there. You got to put Suicidal Tendencies, you know, the thrashy records. Who else? Shit, there's so many. You know, maybe Flotsam and Jetsam. I don't know. I could be here all day thinking of bands. You know.
Right. Yeah, what's crazy to me is that the style of music that you love, and when you were in El Nino, I guess El Nino was heavier back in before you guys got signed, right?
Oh yeah, we started that. That's the thing. We started off as more of a New York hardcore band. We had a different singer. One of my favorite singers, Jorge from Marauder. who I was a huge Marauder fan growing up as a kid. So he was the singer in Il Nino, and we were definitely a lot heavier. To be honest with you, I like those early demos probably the best, man. Was the first Il Nino demo we put out with Jorge singing, man. It just was more my style. I had some guitar solos on it, lot of heavy riffs. You know, it was another great era.
That'd be cool if you brought him back. Just do like
Well, he
an
did.
album.
Yeah, we did a live video back in 2022, I think it was, which was right before I came back for the reunion. And we did a reunion, and Jorge came out and sang a couple songs, and it was great, man. It was great to see him and see him rocking out. Still, he's still in great shape and rocks out on stage.
Real fast, going back to your brother that got you into music. Does he
Yeah.
play guitar as well?
I think he had started to, but I stuck with it, and I think after maybe a couple months he put it down. But it was he introduced me to it. I think when he saw how obsessed I got with it, I think he just was like, maybe he'll go do something else. I'm going to become the musician now.
Dude, I love you have so many different styles when you're playing in the flamenco style. I think I'm saying it right. That is amazing to me. I love the sound of that. When did you start doing that kind of style?
So the flamenco stuff, I kind of got into that early also. I started studying like classical guitar maybe when I was like 12 or 13. And then that kind of got me into flamenco. And I think what really got me into it was my aunt. She lives in Spain. She moved out there years ago, started a family. And I remember she mailed me a cassette of Paco de Lucia. Probably when I was like 14 or something. And I became obsessed with it. I had never heard of him. I was like, wow, this is incredible, man. And then I discovered Paco de Lucia, Al Di Meola, John McLaughlin. They did a record together. And, but that was my first introduction to flamenco. And I fell in love with it. It just, to me, it was very similar to like metal with the harmonic minor scales and very rhythmic and aggressive picking. So to me, flamenco was just as important to me as metal.
Yeah, wow. That's did you take lessons at all, or you were just like all self-taught?
A little bit self-taught, but I did take a lot of lessons too. Yeah, I always, when I was younger, would look for somebody, that I wanted to learn from, and then take lessons for at least a year with them. And I still do that. If I find somebody that I want to learn from, I still hit them up for lessons.
Do you give lessons as well?
I was here and there, but I don't really do it anymore.
Yeah. How's your style like? Does your style like obviously your style evolves? Have you noticed a change over the years? Like you just has your style evolved over time?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely, man. It definitely. I think where I'm at right now with my playing, I'm very. I don't want to say content, but I think I'm very happy with all the work I put in all these years, and where I'm at today, right now, is definitely where I want to be with my playing. Which is like the greatest feeling in the world, because I think for a long time I was not happy, and I used to
Really?
beat myself up over it. I'd just be miserable about, you know, certain shows I did, and man, I can't stand that, or videos, but nowadays I'm like, you know what, man, I finally I feel like for me personally, I hit a good spot, and it feels good.
Do you ever get like people like you get writer's block? You don't get that, right? You always have ideas just flowing.
Yeah, I really don't hit a rut. It just still to this day, I pick up the guitar, man. I get so excited by the instrument, and if I ever do, if I ever am not inspired and I'm not coming up with stuff, I just throw some Slayer on or Overkill, and all of a sudden I'm back in the zone again, man. There's so much great music that inspires me.
Yeah. Do you like this is a silly question, but do you dream like you're playing guitar, or do you wake up with riffs in your head?
Oh, yeah, that's funny. I do. Yeah. I've been told that, my fingers move when I'm sleeping, I'm sure I am. I mean, honestly, that's how I fall asleep at night, man. I go to sleep, close my eyes, and I kind of think of myself on stage doing my solo gigs and playing my songs and going envisioning what I would do on stage and hearing the music in my head. And next thing you know, I'm passed out.
Do you hear like lyrics too in your head for these songs that you come up
Nah,
with?
man, I'm not good with that. That's why I make instrumental records, man, because I hate writing lyrics. It's funny because for Revenge Beast, originally I was going to be the singer,
Oh yeah.
because I could growl a little bit. I don't really like doing it, but originally I was going to do it, and we recorded our first two songs, and I did the vocals on them, and I wrote the lyrics for them. And I remember on the second song, man, I was like, man, I think we're gonna have to get a singer because I don't want to spend the rest of my life writing lyrics. This sucks, man. You know. So we got our
Yeah.
buddy Jay Decay, who's like an incredible death metal singer. He's amazing live, and he writes awesome lyrics, like really intelligent, thought out lyrics, and he loves the process of writing lyrics. Where me, it's painful. It's like the most miserable task is sitting down and try to come up with lyrics and ideas. I just suck at it.
Yeah, I've heard people say that too before. So this is a dumb question, but when you're playing, was that an easy thing to sing and play, or just come natural?
Oh no, it's hard. It's something I always had to practice. Yeah, it's that's I have so much respect for guys like Dave Mustaine or even James Hetfield and whoever else that sings and play because it's like you learn how to play the riffs, you write the riffs, you got to practice them, but then you also got to learn the lyrics, memorize the lyrics, the melodies that you're gonna sing, and then you got a third job which is to put it all together. It's like you got to practice the having the coordination of thinking the lyrics and the riffs. So it's difficult. It's not easy.
Yeah. So were you a big Metallica fan growing up? I mean,
Oh
did you
yeah,
like?
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Old Metallica. That's the best stuff, man. Still to this day, that's some of the most inspiring music for me. Stuff like Injustice for All, Master of Puppets, all those old records. I think still to this day are untouchable. Some of the best metal records of all time.
yeah, yeah. And Justice for All was the first one I've discovered as well. And
Nice.
when I discovered, I didn't notice it about the bass thing. That took me years to figure out. Oh, there's no bass, and then everybody
Yeah,
started talking about it.
it never really bothered me, but it's funny on YouTube you can pull up that what's called Injustice for Jason
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Injustice for Bass, and they added the bass on, and it's like, all right, yeah, I get it, man. It does sound a lot more full with the bass.
Um, I love the New York hardcore scene back in the day, where like, I know like the Vision of Disorder.
Oh yeah,
I've had I can't think of his name now on my
Tim.
show. Tim
Yeah,
Williams. Yeah, he's
Tim's
he's
great. Yeah,
awesome, man. Do you
yeah.
guys used to tour with him back in the day, or do you
I
know
never
him?
got to tour with VOD, but I loved them. I used to go see them play around New York, New Jersey all the time. I saw them a dozen times back in the 90s. I think even one of my old bands, we opened up for them. But I toured with Blood Simple, so I got to know Tim
Oh
and
yes.
Kennedy and those guys pretty well. We hung out a lot. It was Blood Simple Soulfly tour. I think like 2005. That was another great band. Blood Simple was awesome, man. But I was a huge VOD fan. Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to love them.
Kyle Sanders lives right down the road from me from Blood
Oh, that's right.
Simple.
He's from Georgia, right? That's right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he opened a club.
Nice,
Um, yeah, where all these bands play, and he owned a school, Let There Be Rock School. So that's.
nice. That's awesome, man. Cool.
Do you go back? You mentioned Soulfly. You were in Soulfly for like forever, for a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah. Almost 20 years. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. When you joined, what, in 2003, I guess, or somewhere
around
around there.
2003. Yeah,
Do you still listen to like? Do you go back and listen to Sepultura and Soul? Do you ever go back and listen to them?
yeah. I love the old Sepultura records, man. That's part of who I am. Beneath the Remains and Arise, KSAD. Those were the three records that I liked the best. I never was into Roots. That record just kind of went over my head. But those three records were huge for me and very important. So yeah, I still to this day, Andreas's guitar playing on those records. It's just some of my favorite guitar playing. So it's always an inspiration.
Do you know him? Do you ever? Do you know Andreas?
I met him a couple times and he was always so cool, man. Very very cool dude. Always gave me compliments. I always gave him compliments about what a huge influence he was on me. Very cool dude, man. Super super nice guy and just incredible guitar player. And I will say that their last record that they put out, I think it's one of their best records, man. Quadra. It's got Andreas's I think some of his best guitar playing. So it's really cool to see Andres evolve with his guitar playing and just get better and better and better. And this last record they put out, I think, is some of his best guitar playing ever.
Was that their last record, or
I
aren't
think it was the
they
last one, Quadra, right? Wasn't it
Quadra?
Quadra?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
I'll
so,
definitely have to
man.
check
And
that out.
I remember buying that and just being like, dude, this guy he just gets better and better, man. This is like Andres at his best.
Yeah, damn. I have to go back and check that out.
Yeah.
When you're touring, right? So like you're going around touring. How do you tour? Do you just go stay in hotels, or are you on a
Yeah.
bus? Like how do you do it?
So when I do my solo thing, what's cool is that it's just me. So a lot of times I just fly into the cities. This past April, I flew out to Europe and did a short solo tour for about a week,
Wow.
and flew in. Did every show would fly I think we did a couple trains through Poland to, I think, Switzerland, and hotels every night. And I love it, man. You know, it's really really an efficient way to travel, because I don't really, you know, the bus is cool, but eventually it gets too crowded, and you know, you got a couple guys that don't shower, you know, enough, and it gets to be too much, you know. So I really love traveling, doing my solo project, and you know, I like you know, I like the hotel thing, you know, because I get to go to my room, and a lot of times I just want to play guitar, man. You know, I sit in my room before the show and just jam, drink coffee, and get ready for the show.
So you work out, you have like a schedule you do every day. Is it kind of like Groundhog's Day when you're on tour? You like wake up a
Oh yeah,
certain time?
yeah. I basically, you know, get up, eat, coffee, chill, practice guitar all day, and then usually I work out before the show, because it wakes me up, and I also, you know, I get so sweaty on stage. I'd rather just go on stage already, you know, sweated up,
You like
and
that? Yeah.
you don't got to do that. That cuts your laundry in half, because it's always impossible to do laundry on tour, especially in Europe. It's always a pain in the ass.
Man, that makes so much sense. Do you is it I got two questions from that.
Yeah,
When you go on tour, I would assume you just buy a big large pack of socks.
yeah,
Right? Just
yeah.
new pair every night.
Yeah, I usually do that because nobody wants to be rolling around with dirty socks all over the place, you know?
I was listening to I listen to a lot of comedy podcasts. Bert Kreischer has one,
uh,
and he was saying before he goes up on stage, he works out all the way up until he's got to go on stage.
that's basically what I do. Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's gotta be a like just the
Yeah.
adrenaline's already there. You're already ready to
Yeah.
go.
Adrenaline, and you know, you got to be 100% the best when you're on stage, you know? So I just feel like at those hours, you know, around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, if I'm going on around 9, that's kind of like the peak hours where I'm going to be feeling, my most, energetic.
Yeah, dude, when you play a show after the show, how do you calm down? I mean, because you don't drink, right?
I
You
quit
don't
drinking.
party.
I used to drink, but you know, I used to always go to the bar and hang out with everybody, and I still do. It's just the only thing now is I'm drinking Red Bulls at the bar. You know.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Are
Yeah.
you, like, the California sober or whatever? Do you still smoke weed or anything?
Nah, I can't stand weed, man.
Yeah, me either, man.
Weed just yeah. It just I'm not into it, man. It's
Me
just I
either.
would get nothing done if I was stoned all day. I would stare at the wall and have panic attack after panic attack. I don't know how people do it. I'm not into any drugs at all. You know, I just
No, that's great.
caffeine's enough for me. You know.
So after the show, you just go to the bar, hang out, then just go to your room and do it all over again.
Yeah, yeah. Usually, you know, like hang out at the bar or the merch table. I try to hang out at the merch and push my merch. But yeah, I love being social after the shows. You know, I mean, it's fun to me to hang out with fans and just talk music, man. You know, that's the gig. You know, I definitely ain't the kind of guy to go hide on the bus or hide in the dressing room and, you know, keep away from people. I don't get that, you know, that vibe. I love hanging out and talking, man, and you know, just I'm a regular dude. You know.
Yeah, so if you got fans that come out and see you, they can expect to meet you after the show and get merch
Absolutely.
signed or whatever.
Yep,
That's cool.
absolutely. I'll sign everything, hang out. You know, I don't do paid meet and greets. I'm not into that stuff either. So I'm always hanging out.
Yeah, that I love that. Where you gonna be at next? When's your next tour start?
So right now I just got some weekend gigs. You know, that's kind of what I really like doing these days, man. It's just flying in and doing weekend gigs, and then coming home and hanging. You know, during the week, doing my home life stuff. So I got some shows coming up next weekend. I'm playing in Nyack, New York, at this really cool club called Olives. It's gonna be a big Halloween bash with all my friends and a bunch of bands, and so that's the next show. And then I got some other local things coming up. But as far as like the next tour, I'm kind of putting that together right now. See what's going to be my next, like, you know, week tour, 2 weeks or something. I know I am talking about going back to Europe, maybe early 2025. So just putting that all together now.
So when you're playing these local shows, you're saying you're gonna have the whole band with you,
Sometimes
or
I
is
do.
that
Yeah, this show next weekend it'll just be me solo. But sometimes I bring out the band. So it just depends who's available and if it makes sense.
yeah. Yeah, it's cool you go to Europe so much. Are you starting you're probably used to it by now and
Oh
that's
yeah, I mean I was in
yeah.
Europe, man. You know, from 2003 to 2020, I was in Europe, you know, more than America. So I really got used to it.
Yeah. I like what you're saying about these fly-in dates, on the weekends because you don't work like a 9 to 5, right? So you got you do like the weekend warrior kind of thing, and then the rest of
Yeah,
the week you're writing and coming up.
Yeah, and again, being that I just go out and do these gigs by myself, it financially it makes it a lot more easier to travel. That's just one airline ticket, one hotel room. Um, so I'm able to do that. A lot of bands, they have to do tours that go for like a month straight because you got bills to pay and you got to be generating money, every day to keep the tour afloat. But the way I'm doing it, it makes more sense to just do weekend gigs and just fly out, do 3 shows in a row at some part of the country, maybe Europe or something, and then come home and chill for the week. So that's kind of the way I've been doing it. It's different. It's definitely a very a different way to tour.
Yeah, that sounds like you figured it out over all this time. I love that.
Thanks.
All right, man. Well, you got anything else going? How do people find you? You have a website, or is it just all social media?
Yeah, all my social media, I'm on all that stuff. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I'm on all of it. I'm always posting videos, always putting all my projects up. Right now my solo, just Marc Rizzo is my name on all those social media. But I have my other projects, Revenge Beast.
Oh
The
yeah.
other project I have is called Acoustic Vendetta. We just dropped a new record also. I can't forget that.
Oh,
Which is, it's
cool.
not metal. It's kind of more you know bluesy, grungy, acoustic rock, kind of 70s, early 90s grunge, So we just put out a new record and dropped a new video also that Little C did. And yeah, we'll be playing soon too. Actually, we're playing Middleburg, New York, at a place called Elias Breweries. That's out there. I've been playing a lot of breweries lately, man. That's a lot of fun, man. I never, I don't drink anymore, so to go to these breweries, and hang out and play shows, and everyone's hanging and having a good time. It's kind of been something new for me.
Do you, do,
So
do
yeah,
you
those are
drink?
the 3 projects. So
Yeah, yeah. Do you drink like the non-alcoholic kind of beers or whatever, or just
nah, I never tried them.
strictly
To
Red
me,
Bull?
that's like drinking decaf coffee. What's the point?
Exactly. Was that like, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but when you quit drinking, did you have to go to like meetings or anything, or did you just quit cold turkey?
Nah, for me, it never. I don't think it ever was an issue. I don't think it ever was like, oh, I was a raging alcoholic. I just, I drank when I drank, and when I didn't, I didn't. So when I
Yeah.
finally said, I'm going to take a break from this, I just didn't drink. I just switched a lot of my attention to coffee a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it's
it
got to
was,
be 10 times easier on the road when you're not drinking. But
yeah, I guess so. I don't get in as much trouble, but that trouble was fun, and
yeah,
that
right.
was epic nights and epic shows and parties, and I'm not one of those guys that's like, you got to quit drinking and I can't hang out with my drinking friends. Hell no, I'm at the bar hanging out. I'm just like I said, I'm
That's cool.
slamming Red Bull now. That's all. I still want to hang out at the party. I can't be around the guys that are like, no, I got to go. I got to go to a meeting and I can't hang out at a bar. And hell, I want to hang at the bar. I want to hang out. I want to watch other people get drunk and do stupid shit now.
Just watch them. Do you have a Red Bull limit? Can you just drink Red Bull all night and your heart's just pounding, or do you have a?
Yeah, I try not to do any more than one. I
Oh,
drink like
okay.
one Red Bull and then I go back to coffee. You know.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, yeah. I try to stick with coffee. I know those energy drinks are not good for you, but when I'm out at a bar, I'll have like one Red Bull and just sip on it.
Yeah, man, you need to have like Marc Rizzo coffee. You know what I mean? Have your own
It's a great
brand it.
idea. I've talked about it. I've talked about some companies. I'd love to do it. I would love to do a coffee company.
Isn't it weird? I was talking to Doc Cole about this. Like when you're pushing all these different platforms, do you ever get just where like I just want to play guitar? I don't want to have to because now you're having to do all this promotion yourself, or do you
Yeah,
enjoy it?
I really do just want to play guitar. I don't want to do any of that stuff at all.
Yeah,
I never
yeah,
wanted
it's
to
a
be on
chore.
Facebook. I never wanted, none of it. But it's to the point where like if you're not on it, nobody even knows you exist. It's you have to do it all. So I fought it for a long time. I really didn't even get on Facebook. I think until like 2010, 11, and I really fought it, all the social media stuff. But now it's like you have to do it. So I do what I got to do, but I just keep it music related. I don't like to put everything else in my life up online, really.
Does that mess with you when you're playing and people are recording you on their phone? Does that make you nervous at all? Like you got to play perfect?
No, I love it. I
Oh
always
yeah.
encourage people to record me because I tell them record it and send it to me. Send it to me in my DMs and I'll put it up online. And I love watching the videos because I study it. I watch it. I'm
Do
like, all
you?
right, I made a mistake there. All right, don't do that on the guitar. it's like watching a football game and with the team members and talking about what we did wrong. So I love it. I think it's awesome. Honestly, I'm disappointed if I don't find videos on YouTube or people don't send me videos from the show. So please record it.
Yeah. Well, Mark, man, I appreciate being on here, man. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
That's it, man. I'm like I said, I'm really moving forward with my solo project. That's my main priority. Always has been. That it never was an option for me. My solo instrumental music is what I love. So everyone, come out to the shows, support. I appreciate it. And look out for my other projects: Revenge Beast, Acoustic Vendetta. What else am I forgetting? I'm sure there's other bands I'm doing. I got another project called The Monarch. That's a great project also people could check out. But I put all this stuff on all my social media. So that's the best place to follow me and see what I'm up to.
One thing I have to say, and then we'll close it out. Misfits. You played with the Misfits back in the day.
That's right. How could I forget that? I played with the Misfits in 2015. And it was an incredible experience. Jerry Only, he lives pretty close to me here in New Jersey, and we're good friends, and I still hang out with him. We go out to dinner often and hang out. Just a great guy. And the Misfits are one of my favorite bands of all time. I've always been a huge Misfits fan. So it was a total honor to play with Jerry and do the Misfits in 2015. And I'd love to do it again. If he ever needs me, I'm there, because for me, that was one of the biggest honors was playing with the Misfits.
Yeah, they had the drummer from Slayer playing as well, didn't they?
Now they do, Dave Lombardo.
Dave Lombardo,
my friend Goat was an incredible drummer. He played in a lot of New York hardcore bands back in the day, and he was awesome to work with too. So,
yeah, man, it's cool talking to you, Mark. This is awesome. I keep having all these questions I keep wanting to ask you, man, but we got to do a part 2, man.
That'd be great. But I'm always down, bro.
Dude, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for being on the show, brother.
Yeah, bro. Thanks for having me once again, man. It's great to see you.
Absolutely, man.
All right, bro. Have a good night.